So Ken, I'll go back to David in a moment, but Ken, to you first on the state charges in addition to the federal hate crimes charges here. What would you say about it all?
Well, I think, look, the major difference here is going to be the penalty that this man faces. And on the federal charges, these charges are death penalty eligible. We still have the death penalty federally, even though Colorado does not have it for the state charges. You know, the most that this man could be sentenced to on these state charges is life without the possibility of parole. He does face, I think, the very real possibility of a death penalty sentence on the federal charges.
Only if someone were to die, right? Like that's one of the injured people. Is that what you're saying, or?
Yes, yes,
right.
Of course. Only if the critically injured person passes.
12 victims right now that we knew of. Earlier it was 8. The other thing here, David, they're saying, you know, in terms of the planning, 16 unused Molotov cocktails were recovered after the attack, is what they just said. So this guy was, I guess, intent on doing a lot of damage, and there was some planning that went into it, but nothing picked up beforehand, which, as we said earlier, is difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you know, clearly it could have been a lot worse, you know, but that doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of people are suffering and have had their lives changed irrevocably from this person's actions. So, I mean, I guess you look for the silver lining in any situation, but it could have been a lot worse, but it was bad enough.
What are we not doing, David, in this country to combat the rise in anti-Semitism that we've shown the chart a few times on the show already, last couple of years especially? What are we not doing that we should be doing, if anything, from a law enforcement perspective, do you think?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. First of all, we've normalized I don't even like the word anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism was a term coined in over 150 years ago by a Jew hater who didn't like the term Judenhass. So it's Jew hatred. That's what it is. So we've normalized this on our college campuses. I mean, you have egregious acts of violence and intimidation and harassment being perpetrated by people just simply because they show up and happen to be Jewish. So once that mindset is permeating the locality, well, you know, if the mayor is supporting it, if the city council is behind that stuff, if college universities are behind that stuff, the police department isn't really taking it seriously either. I mean, so if that changes, then I think the much more aggressive approach by law enforcement. And by the way, if you're involved in a Jewish organization or a rally or even tonight's a Jewish holiday, if you're present at a Jewish function, remain vigilant. Do not take anything for granted. You are ultimately responsible for your own safety and the safety of the people with you.
Ken, you have any thoughts on that same issue or question, but from a legal perspective, for the rise of, particularly the last 2 years, anti-Semitism in the United States?
Well, look, we are a free country. We have civil liberties in this country, but we also have a government that has tools such as the Patriot Act at its disposal and enormous ability to surveil the citizenry. I mean, I personally have had clients that have had every phone call, every electronic communication of theirs, you know, surveilled by the government because they were under investigation. And I think we have to start ramping up investigations into this type of extremism. It is clearly on the rise. It is clearly an imminent threat to Jewish Americans throughout the country. And they really have to start paying a very close eye to these people that are going to protest and seeing what their connections are, what they're purchasing, if they're making purchases of potential weapons, if they're planning with other people. These are things that we have the capabilities to find out, and I think we really need to pay much more close attention to this form of extremism.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.